Hey guys, John here from John's DIY Playground. Today I'm going to do a quick video on putting in a spice rack on my kitchen cabinets here on the inside, of course. And the spice racks I got are from a place called the Container Store. This is a 3-shelf rack. It runs about $10. I've got 2 of them, one for inside each shelf. Doesn't really come with any instructions whatsoever. It comes with 6 screws in the shelf itself, and so here's the problem we have. We got a lot of spices, and when I say we got some spices, Mrs. DIY likes her spices, and so it's pretty hard to find the spices when you got 4 rows deep in there of spices and you can't see anything. So by bringing these racks on the outside like this and having them hang here, we'll be at least only 3 deep and have a single row of them on the outside to see quite easily and get to easily. So let's get started. Okay, so a few key tips here to remember, guys. There are no instructions, so maybe it's obvious for some but not to others. There's 6 points to put screws in here, and it's wherever there's these hooks on the wire rack. I don't know how well you can see these, but keep in mind that these areas are thin. You don't want to put these screws through on the back and have them start poking out the sides. So what we're going to do is make sure we have it lined up so that we're up high enough that we're in the thick section of the cabinet, and that we're not off to one side either where we could possibly poke through on the sides either. So be somewhat centered, but not all the way down either, and not all the way far left or far right. Other thing to keep in mind is when we go to do this, we want to measure the depth and drill a pilot hole into these cabinets because they're hardwood. We're not going to be able to just drive these screws in by hand. So I'll show you how to get our things set up and marked, and then how to measure the depth with your drill bit. Let's do that next. Okay guys, one thing I forgot to mention too is when you're going to set your markings up of where you want to put this thing, is you want to take a look at where it is when it closes to make sure that when it's swinging shut that it's actually not going to hit any of your other shelves. So yes, it's going to hit the front spices, we're going to move those, but make sure it's not going to hit like the middle shelf or whatever when you set up your spacing. So depending how exact you want to do this, you can use a tape measure, you can use a level, you can make this thing absolutely perfect if you care. But if you're not so caring as much like I am in this case, I'm using my assorted food colors and egg dye that I used in my DIY video of how to diagnose a toilet leak. So if you have a toilet leak, check out that video. I just used the toilet or the food and dye box like this to set up my spacing and check that it was good with the shelves. And then all I took was a Sharpie marker because this was really nice and easy for me to just dab and do a dab and dab and dab and dab, and it's really nice and clear and easy to see. So Sharpie marker works great. So now we're ready to go. I got my 6 marks here on the board. I'm going to get my drill bit set up and I'll show you how to set the depth for that. So here's how we set up the spacing with the drill bit. Here's the screw that we're using, and I'm using a 3/32 diameter drill bit. Keep in mind that the thickness of the wire rack itself is going to take up some space, and we really do not want to drill any deeper than we have to. Really, we don't have to drill any deeper than, say, let's here and let that point stick a little bit out. And to set the spacing, you're going to love the simplicity of this, but just take a humble small piece of duct tape like so, and when you take the duct tape, you just put it on the drill bit like this, and then you'll wrap it around the drill bit. I can try to do this, but it's going to be hard to show on the camera really well, but figure you can use any kind of tape. You can use Scotch tape, masking tape, whatever, but duct tape is the best because it's the solution to most of life's problems. Okay, I've got my drill ready. When I hit to that tape spot in my mark when I'm drilling, I stop drilling deep and I'm done. Let me get these 6 holes drilled up right now. Okay guys, here's one other tip you can use from this preparing of your holes. Put the screws in next by itself without the shelf, but just put them in a couple of turns to get them started. It's a lot easier to put in the screws before you have the shelf up there and getting in the way of everything. So once your 6 screws are in here like I have it, just put your shelf up here like so, and just make sure everything lines up nice and is settled on there. Make sure it closes okay. If everything looks fine, then finish turning down the screws so they're just a little bit snug and you're all set. So hope you like this video. If you learned something, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and leave comments if you have any questions. This is John from John's DIY Playground. Have a great day.